Whoa, I started that way too quiet. Let's do that again.
Diabetes.
Oh, we're live though. Hi, people. We're going to do that one more time. I started the freaking music way too low. I bumped it by accident. 3, 2, 1, go.
Diabetes.
Welcome back to another episode of Let's Go Hunt Show. Now with 100% greater chance of giving it over a high... Oh, wait. Crap, we didn't delete that from yesterday time. We have Vince H, who's a gear whore. Mike Gonsalves, the improved version, now with more show topics. Dave Packard, who is out of his element today, and I just don't want to be here anymore, but I'm Sam Alexander.
Hey, you fucked that up all on your own.
I don't want
that's
fuck
what
abilities.
That's what
No,
they
I contributed.
That's what they paid me the big bucks for. Tonight, we're catching up around the campfire and trying not to drown.
Was anybody in danger of drowning?
I wasn't aware drowning was an option.
Slight
It is,
drowning
after, it is after Dave and I give you a swirly.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of in bad taste for what's happening in Texas and New Mexico right now.
Oh, yeah. I
The
forgot.
biblical
Yeah.
flooding.
Yeah, that is in.
But
Oh, wait,
was a
isn't
joke.
it North Carolina as well?
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
that's just crazy. But
All right, so that'll be that.
Anyway,
we have now stepped over the line.
We were over the line 50 episodes ago. Now we're just
Only
comfortable
50.
here.
This is 132. So you're suggesting what? Freaking 172 episode, or that on episode 72 we weren't over the line.
I
Episode
mean, we were supposed to walk a straight line, and then the officer said, "Okay, sir, put your hand behind your back," and
And then he handcuffed Mike and bent him over the hood, and it got really awkward for a moment, especially when he started making those sounds.
I was trying to do that step bump thing from that video I saw, but
You
it
were
wasn't
bumping.
working. He wouldn't get off.
Yeah. whatever you did, it worked because we got away with it. Thanks, Mike. Real team player.
some of us
Bro.
got away with it.
I'm glad I could be here
Oh.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Sam, did you?
Did I what?
You did. Never mind. Put
Wow.
the link up in Discord. I don't know. Anyway, so we have some fun show topics
what are you
tonight.
talking about? I never put the link up in Discord.
Anyway,
If those animals can't find it on their own, they don't deserve to be here.
Tonight on Let's Go Admin, where do we post our link?
And then we're going to talk about it. Did
Did you guys
know
file those TPS
links
reports?
can be copied and pasted?
Did you know you can left click and turn the link into a hyperlink, and then with the power of one click, it takes everybody to your page?
Did you know you can give that hyperlink Ritalin and calm it the fuck down?
Can we give
Becomes a
Can we-
link again.
can we give Mike a swirly, or is that still in bad taste?
I talked about him drowning when we gave him a swirly, and then Dave was like, that's not in good taste. I was like,
Yeah,
damn it.
No, a swirly and
It was
and a toilet would
swirly,
be
perfectly
a bad taste,
acceptable
too.
because that is a commode.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
right.
That's
I
a
could make it-
multi-purpose,
We're just
I could make a
trying to
Texas
flip it.
joke. I could make a Texas joke here, but I think I'll refrain.
Please do.
I
Or
will
something.
for the moment. Dave, what you been up to?
Oh, me? You know, driving in the goddamn city
Why would you do such things? Why would you torture yourself?
because doctor's appointments have to be 4 hours away. So
What
I have to-
metropolis did you drive all the way to?
Doctors are not real.
your shithole,
What do you mean my shithole? I don't
which
live
was
in the metropolis.
previously my shithole.
Mike
But-
is a
And it-
proctologist?
That's what happens when you live on the other side of nowhere.
But no,
is-
had a little bit of coolant issue this morning, but resolved that magically on its own with more coolant. So
The answer is
And a
always
rig-
more coolant.
yep.
Cool.
Dude, that's always scarier when an issue just stops
I think
when you have something going wrong with the vehicle.
I
I
don't
think
question
I
it.
think it boiled, but it went out the overflow. I just cannot tell where the fucking overflow is because it's a pressurized reservoir. Because I don't have like a radiator cap with a reservoir, like a cap on my radiator. No. It's all one big fucking stupid ass system. So to add coolant, I have to let it cool off. Otherwise, I turn into somebody that looks like they've been vacuum sealed.
I once had. So
Bob, hang
Yeah.
on. Bob popped in the
never
Rumble chat
mind.
today asking why am I gay, which made me laugh because the first thing I said to you guys when I logged on today was, "Why are you gay?" I think he's in my walls.
We're not a serious podcast.
Yo, you don't say. That's why we're changing up all the logo stuff. I got to figure out how to change it in the FRN. I did change it on Instagram. We've got stickers, and then shit, there's somewhere else. I gotta get out changed in the whole freaking RSS feeds that doesn't show the old logo anymore. Because
You should ask Sean tomorrow if he can print, since you'll be there, see if he can print the new logos on shirts, because that'll show up on shirts a hell of a lot better.
Again,
I've got to design a logo for
Let's-
that because I've been
let's go
thinking about-
admin.
Yeah.
I've been
Shut up.
that problem, and I have ideas.
Listen, the listeners want these shirts. I know they
it's
do.
called behind the scenes. Some people actually pay for this shit.
Yeah, we were going to. That was the
$5 a month.
We were going to create a
Join our
business, and then-
Patreon.
Only
Right.
5. We need more than that.
I have to
We need
Dude,
a rich.
up
We
to
need
your lovely dumpster fire of a shithole on
Can you hi-
Friday. So
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Why did you wait? You just came here, now you have to come back.
yes,
He
Why
forgot his retainer.
no, my new
he left
pickup's
his
not
coolant here.
my new pickup's not ready to get picked up until Friday. So, but I
See,
did get me a
that's-
new pickup.
What did you get?
2017
Ew.
half-ton Dodge.
I
Nice.
thought better of you.
Is it a
Um,
diesel?
it's just a half-ton with a Hemi.
Ooh,
It's
hammy.
fancy, but it'll be our nice, like, go to church and go to weddings and buryings and that kind of stuff.
Our
Marrying and burying
fancy him up
pickup.
truck.
Marry him
Yeah.
and bury him. I like that.
I can't wait to hear Dave complain about how his 2017 pisses him off because it's too fucking computerized and he
It's-
can't fix shit.
Okay, so I've had one before, and it wasn't an issue. The only issue was it was a bad year for it. It got the Hemi knock, so that's when I traded that chunk of shit in for my Yukon, and my Yukon has been spectacular. Like, we're very, very close to the 300,000 mile club, but
Unfortunately,
it's tired.
my father-in-law has a 2014 Dodge 3/4 ton with the Cummins, and it's having weird body module issues where stuff don't do the thing right.
There's some bus bars and grounds that are a little wonky on those.
Yeah.
But I looked at another diesel and I was like, I have a diesel out in my yard right now that needs fixed. The last thing I'm going to do is buy another diesel that I'm going to have to put a transmission in. So
Yeah.
win-win.
Electronics always fail at some point. Like, okay, today I was out driving in I have a 2014 Nissan Frontier, and the clock spring's going out in it, which, if you don't know, the clock spring is that the circuit majig in your steering wheel that lets you run all the electronics for your horn, all the controls on your steering wheel, and your airbag, right? So the clock spring's going out, and I forget whenever the clock spring starts to go out in that thing, it starts just activating the voice controls. And now that switch is broken, so I can't actually activate the voice control in the truck, and I never have, and I didn't care because I don't want it. But today it started doing it, and it kept interrupting my radio. And I was trying to get it to shut up, and I accidentally changed the language that it was talking to me in. And apparently there's two options. There's English and Canadian French. So now my truck is speaking French to me, and I can't get it to stop.
Male or female voice?
Female. It could be worse. So
You know what? Yeah, that could definitely be worse. You know what? I'm into it.
it could be a German dude yelling at me.
9.
You cannot do this while driving, because that's one of the messages is, hey, you can't do this while driving. I'm going to stop. But when it's the French lady, it's not too bad.
She's
I
yelling
still
at
want
you
her
in
to
French.
shut up. I still want her to shut up, but
Hmm.
could be worse.
Well, neato. What the fuck were we supposed to be talking about?
There's my pickup.
Oh, we're talking about Dave's pickup.
The whole
Pick
day's
up.
pickup.
Is a
I can
pickup.
already.
Where'd you
He's
get
already tailgating you.
Yeah.
Mama said that pickup could take me anywhere.
it?
Mama said this is my magic pickup. Mama said this take me anywhere.
You're doing 80 and a 55, and Dave's still tailgating you.
No,
That's that pickup.
That's the diesels. I'm
It's
kind
all-
of a slow. If you're not doing 72, fuck you. But let's go.
Fastest I drive is 68.
Yeah, no, I have this nifty little cap that says something about where I work, and I just go like,
Sir,
hey,
is there something wrong with your neck?
pal.
Good grief.
Well,
So yeah, taking it camping.
yes.
That'll be interesting.
Where are you
because,
taking it?
So 49, we're actually doing a camping trip for one, mainly scouting, and then two, testing out all of our shit because we got our new canvas tent, big one. So
I'm missing out on all the cool stuff. I have to go stay up at a cabin in Wyoming, which is fine, but I don't get to go scouting with Dave. I don't get to go caving for cryptids with a couple other guys I know.
well,
Lame.
we're going weekend of the 18th. So
Oh, not this weekend.
Yeah.
I know some
No,
guys
not
who are
this
going to go crawl around a cave up by Craig and look for mole people. And if they find them, shoot the shit out of them.
it's gonna find meth people up there.
That's a
Oh
difference.
man,
That's
this sounds like a great lead-in for like one of those found footage horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Except
I mean, you're not
everyone
wrong.
brought guns.
And the people that are getting terrorized are not the people with the cameras. It's the people
Oh
that
yeah,
thought
that's
they were going to
you know
terrorize
what?
the people
Hey,
with the
shut
cameras.
up! This is a fresh idea. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Save this. It's like it's a reverse horror movie, but it's from the other point of view. Like we are the cryptid
So it's a horror movie from the point of view of the serial killer.
of the Strange Hill people. Yes.
It's
Like,
Blair
we
Witch
invaded.
Project from the witch's point of view. Hey, no, that's all the freaking rage now because they've made all the Disney villains. They've given them all freaking sympathetic backgrounds. So now we
Yeah.
need sympathetic backgrounds for, I mean, yeah, all the serial killers, all the cryptids, all the ghosts.
So now we're gonna
hillbillies in
be
Deliverance,
Jason hiding
um,
underneath the couple having sex, waiting for them to finish before he stabs him through the heart. That's what we're gonna
Predator.
film.
Nah, they ruined Predator though. Or I mean, from like first Predator, good. Second one, oh god, it's going downhill, and then after that, it's just been off a cliff.
Now it's
Yeah.
just Predator, the Epstein files.
What files? The files don't exist, sir.
There are no
Dun
files.
dun dun.
You guys don't see what I titled these in the live stream, but this one was, oh yeah, let's get Gaddafi, and then the subtitle was he's probably hiding with Epstein.
Wow.
What a statement.
Mike has info that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton.
Dude, I'm sitting with my back to a window. Fuck off.
I know. If there's a splatter, we'll see.
Dude, don't try to.
Oh shit, they got him.
Let it take long.
They've had their eye on me, clearly.
So anyway, yeah, going camping to go scout. Going to be
Nice.
driving all over the place up there, and take the kids
Um,
out.
I can
They're
tell
gonna
you
go-
what road not to drive on if you don't want to slide down the side of it and end up in a position where you may have to get recovered.
I think I will. If I go down that road, I will go more towards the right. Right
Well, now
side.
Dave knows
Also,
snow.
there's no many snow up there right now.
Yeah.
There's no snow, and Dave knows snow. So
hmm I'm not going to
That's
get too
not a
crazy
snow
with
go.
the four wheeling, especially in a new pickup, and especially with tires that are like, those are for pavement princesses. So,
Oh, you gonna get new tires?
I will get new tires, but the tires that I have on my Yukon for that thing right now are $404 a piece, and I'm like, no. So
Yee.
it's getting 17s, not the
I did.
fucking 20s.
I know I complained a while back, like the tornadoes, like destroyed my favorite tire shop, but they reopened at a different location.
Nice.
Actually, they were open in like 3 days at a different location. I just didn't notice.
The Waffle House of
Did
tire
you smell it?
shops.
You're
Well,
like,
no, I drove by
those
them like they're
Doritos.
gone, but then I saw they have a sign out, on, in front of the pile of rubble, like here's our new location, senor. Like,
I like
like,
how that
oh, okay,
tire shop
sweet.
on a steak.
Nice.
I like my tires like I like my machine guns and my tamales sold out of the back of a van.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. So, camping, scouting for elk. What? Okay,
Well, hold on.
I'm going to ask the question everybody has to ask. Somebody has to ask it at this point.
Fine.
What are you going to do when you're scouting for elk? Like, drive around, look for sign and glass, and go, look, there's an elk I can't shoot. I'll come back in October and get you later.
We're mainly going to look for access. Like,
Okay.
how much of a bitch is it going to be to get back in here? Because my stepdad was up there last year, and there was some trails that were snowed in pretty good, and they couldn't get through them. But we're gonna go drive around a bunch of the places that he couldn't get to last year. That way, just in case we can, and different camp spots. Because during hunting season, there's going to be a fuckload of people up there. Because there's 80 bull elk tags for my season, and then there's 800 deer tags for the same season.
I better wear a
one of
shit
them.
ton of orange.
Yeah, that.
That sounds awful.
The deer tags, though, they're split between 2 units, so they're not all going to be there. And this unit's fucking huge.
Like, the unit is huge.
Probably 50 miles long,
Fair.
20 miles wide.
Damn.
Okay.
So it's
So,
a decent sized unit.
I was debating
mentioned-
asking, but would you want some company on this trip? That sounds
Well,
like something Ella and I would enjoy.
I will check.
Yeah, I don't want to impose on.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Dave
You're going to
needs
be
to
up
check
there
with-
fucking hunting.
I mean, I'm
too,
gonna
so.
right. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, I may as well come up and get some more wheels on the ground and look around at stuff.
Dave needs to check with his manager. Dave, I noticed you got new sleep pads. What kind did you get?
Amazon specials.
Amazon special, like is
Yeah,
it
they're-
like
they're
the
tiny? They roll up about that big and they're about that long.
are they the ones
But
that have the little pump on them that you squish over and over again and then they
Yeah.
pump up? Okay,
Yes.
yeah, all right. That's what I have. I was gonna see if you got something different than what
No.
I have, but that's basic. I have an Amazon special one that does that as well. I have a double and I also have a single for when it's just me running around doing stuff. But they're cozy. Just make sure you get the vents all the way closed.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because
since we've got this big canvas tent, we're going to be on cots too.
Oh,
So that pad will go on the cot just for a little bit of extra insulation.
you
but-
posh bastard.
Oh, I know it's terrible. And I have a little buddy heater in there.
I mean, freaking having an old buddy heater is a nice idea, but having the stove in my little teepee tent with the cot was just about the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's fucking cold as shit at 4:00 in the morning. Get a fire going. I'm going to get dressed when it's warm in here.
Yeah.
I still think Sam's gonna pull a Michael Jackson. Like he's gonna have a accident on stage, end up on fire. Except he's gonna turn out black.
That is going to be great for the podcast because then I can advertise. No, I'm not going there, actually.
Oh boy.
So
Well then,
What I meant to say is it's going to let me do like a Make-A-Wish Foundation thing to go hunt in Africa. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking
right.
of Africa, I'm gonna do a tangent real quick, just because I was really excited about something this morning. You ever look up a book, and it's more or less a nonfiction book, like a memoir, and you start listening to the preview on it, and you go, I can listen to this guy's voice, and then 2 seconds later, it says narrated by the dude who wrote the book, and you're like, oh shit, bye. I did that this morning.
Depends on who wrote the book, but
This is Mike Hoare.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a book called Congo Mercenary. He founded and led a fairly controversial group of mercenaries called Five Commando during the Congo crisis back in '65. But when it's like, oh, I can listen to that, it said narrated by Mike Hoare. I was like, oh, must buy. Anyway,
Well then,
books.
must buy.
Welcome
So,
to Let's Go Hunt Book Club.
Vincente.
me.
easy.
Did you have something hanging off of your shirt earlier before the show?
No,
It looked like it was just floating there.
it was camouflaged.
Oh,
It was attached to his nipple.
No one could see it. No one could see it at all.
If you sat up a little bit more, you might actually be able to display that on the live stream, and YouTube wouldn't know what to do with it.
yeah,
Actually, I think if I just keep doing this, no one will ever notice what it is.
yeah.
It's just like a
Oh,
little,
it's just a sight and a light. Weird.
like a little dust. It's like a little brushy submarine down here. No, I got several
of
things
Africa.
back. Speaking of Africa, yeah. So, I'm gonna cut this kind of short because I can go into the long details of how it took 4.5 months to get a slide back from being cut for an optic and then Cerakoted. But the fact is, I got it back. This is my Gerson P35, so it's the high power clone, but this is the TAC op, so it's got the Picatinny rail on it and everything. I had it cut for an RMSC footprint, and the guy was talking to me about what they could do as far as camo, and then he mentioned Rhodesian brushstroke, and now Rhodesian brushstroke is part of my personality.
Dude,
Because it turned out really freaking sexy.
it did.
Yeah,
How much did that Cerakote job cost, if you don't mind me asking? If you don't want to, just put it in the private chat, because we're going to have Dave from, we're going to have High Point on in a couple of weeks to talk about some things. And just thinking about a 10 millimeter JXP High Point in Rhodesian brushstroke.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds awesome. 2, this cost me $0 because I got this as a perk in like the goodie bag from being an RO at the last event at the Burial Mound shooting center.
I remember
So
that. Yeah.
they're like, hey, order something on the website. Here's a 100% off code. And I'm like, yeah, but a slide cut and a Cerakote job. And
Well, that's why it took you 4 months, because you're not a paying customer. And I'm like, fuck that guy.
well, the guy also had the guy doing the cut also had some machinery go down during that time, so it was like also put him behind on stuff. I will say though, the cut was really like, I actually at first, when I first got it back, I'm like, I can't get this optic on here. The cut's off and I can't get the optic on here. But apparently you have to have the optic like perfectly
It's that
straight on top, and it just like doop, down in there and does not move. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. But I have the Gideon optic. Bob sent me a Judge XL that I have on this sucker, and man, it is like it's nice. It's a nice big open window. And the idea behind it is, of course, like your 1911s and everything of that lineage, because this is a John Browning design and the slide is of similar width. So those slides, they're narrower than like your Glock stuff. So or a lot of the other tilt barrel designed handguns on the market. And you can't do an RMR on top, but you can do an RMSC, and because it's narrower. And yeah, the Judge XL works really well if you have like a 1911 or a 2011 and you want a nice wide competition window on there. Yeah, I was out shooting it the other day. I really liked it. I was really excited to get this back and get everything mounted up on there. Did have some trouble with screws, but that's because I didn't talk to the guy about what screw threading he should use on the mount, and he used like a common RMR thread pattern, and it's
Just
like
make the screw.
yeah. But I got that back, and while I was talking to the guy, he's also like, because you've been waiting forever, send me $50 and I'll cut another slide for you. Because I was talking about my Glock 43, and so he cut my Glock 43, and I got a Gideon Optics Valor Mini on that one that I've been carrying around.
Nice.
That looks good.
It's nice actually. I hate Glock triggers, but this is the only Glock trigger I like. It feels very nice. But this is a Polymer 80. This is a PF9 SS that I cut up and did all the stuff with, and that's my carry gun with a was it Shield Arms does the metal bodied magazines.
Oh yeah,
Shield.
something like that.
Yeah, so it's 9+1 instead of 6+1. So, but I got those back, and I'm looking forward. I think we're going to talk some more coming up about carrying a handgun while you're out hunting. So this should fit in with that nicely.
Indubitably.
Other than that, I've been doing other stuff. Hold on. I have a Ruger American rifle in 223 that I got a while back, and I hadn't shot it in forever. Still haven't shot it recently, but I found a 16-inch threaded barrel on eBay of all places, and so I grabbed that barrel, yoinked the old one off, screws to the new one down on this, and I got it set up with my suppressor on there. So I think this year may turn into a bolt gun year for me, because I've been using ARs for the past several years to kill pretty much everything. But I think I'm gonna get back and trying to use some bolt guns to do some killing with. Ruger Americans are actually pretty easy to swap the barrel on, though I swear I saw wrench flats on the barrel nut on this thing, and then when I went to actually take the barrel off, there was no wrench flats at all, and it was just a circle. And I had to look it up, and there's a tool that you can buy that's, it's basically a barrel vise, except it's small and you screw it around the barrel nut and you unscrew the thing. But turns out if you take vice grips and crank them down on there and then smack it with a wrench, it comes right off. So guess what we did? Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yes. So you can buy fancy barrel nuts for the Ruger Americans, but I didn't see any problem. Like, if I was going to do gunsmithing stuff for people, I would definitely buy the wrench and then, make it look nice afterwards. But since it's mine, I don't care. And then when I put the new barrel on, I screwed the barrel down onto a round that I would be using, and then clamped the vice grips back down and hit it with a wrench again and torqued the barrel nut down on it. So I got that rifle going, and I also, there's another rifle on the way that I've been wanting to talk about. That here, I'm gonna share screen. Sharing screen. There we go.
He's back. I thought the Clintons had got him.
Oh yeah, that thing fucks, man.
Yeah.
I like the freaking G36 style top rail it has.
So this is so some out there may or may not know what Gun Talk is. It's a radio show. They do a anniversary gun every 5 years. This year they did a rifle, and it's the Gun Talk Scout. And it's a Ruger Scout rifle, except it's based on the Ruger American Gen 2. They released it in 223 and 308, both with 16-inch barrels. It's a bolt gun with detachable box magazines and a Scout rail on it with iron sights. And a actually pretty badass camo job on it, too. It's like a Cryptek Night Stalker or something. It was specifically designed for this gun. I bought a 308 version that should be made soon and on the way, but barrel's threaded. I can put a suppressor on it. It's chambered in 308. I've talked a lot about how, is 223 is fine, comrade. But I've never actually killed anything with a 308. Which is like the logical step up for most people when you're talking deer rifles into a common caliber, especially if you're talking tactical stuff, using tactical stuff for hunting, going up from AR-15 to AR-10. The thing you're doing is most people think you're going up from 223 to 308. So I thought it'd be worthwhile to actually kill some things with a 308 and see reactions and how things went, and to be able to really compare with my own eyes. So I'm looking forward to that. Ty. You know what, Ty? I'm thinking about I might have to borrow a better thermal from Brandon. I'm thinking about loading up some 110 grain VMAX in the 308. And absolutely turning some coyotes inside out.
Ooh,
this coming winter.
Screamers.
Even with the 16-inch barrel, you should be able to get 3,000 plus feet per second at the muzzle with the 110 grain VMAX. And it's got a better BC than like the 50 grain VMAX in the 223. So that's like, it kind of excites me a little bit.
Those mess some shit up, and it's beautiful to see, says Ty. I thought about loading some 110 grain 300 Win Mag just to see what would happen. I don't know if it ever stabilized though.
Oh, it'll stabilize. But I got those two rifles, and I'm thinking like maybe I can have the boy carry the 223 this year, and I'll carry the 308 around, and we'll see what happens. If he can't handle it, I'll just have him carry around his 223, the AR, and it'll be fine. But I may have both the bolt guns around just to see. But the Gun Talk rifle has me kind of excited. I haven't bought a gun just because I wanted it in a while. And I found myself trying to find excuses to buy this one, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm just going to buy the gun.
Yeah. Dad is behind a tree. Okay, the tree's not there anymore.
Neither is the deer.
The other thing is also, like, for that once-in-a-lifetime elk hunt, that requires a certain 277 caliber or larger, and I was like, I kind of want something for that if I ever get it. But I could use it for that, and also, I might just turn some coyotes inside out this coming winter and
fucking A.
Have some fun with that.
Fun fact,
I've also
they're
got
actually easier to skin when they're inside out.
You know what? If I can get it mouth on, I might be able to do that thing where you get a bunch of air inside around the skin, and just I might be able to walk
So-
up to it and
so you're
it
saying
just
you're going to give it mouth to mouth?
bore to mouth. I might be able to walk up to it and it has skinned the coyote for me by the time I get there.
That sounds like a fun way to go about it.
We showed that video. Did we mention we showed that video to more than a few
Several
people? at Gen Con?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Where they're like, "Fucking really?"
Most
That's why
people
we-
were like, "That's fucking awesome." And then, oddly enough, the person that I had you send me the video for originally was the least enthusiastic person. So I just
Oh.
like, you know what? Up yours, buddy.
Fuck you then.
Gideon Optics says I always get mouth on. I know, Bob. That's why I'm wearing a hat.
Did you show Bob the video?
I did. He didn't really want to see it, but I made him watch it anyway.
Oh, I'm also going to be using this is my competition gun. I forgot to mention that the P35 is my competition gun. I'll be using that soon. We got a competition coming up, and I'm looking forward to that.
I need some POV footage of you shooting that.
I plan on running the GoPro, though. If it's been like the past 2 times, I remembered to turn the GoPro on at about 1 out of 3 stages. So
I do pretty well remembering to turn mine on. It's if a new or finished Vince I can launch, but if you're still going, I will.
oh no, go ahead. Just one of those times, the RO was like, "Hey, you want to turn your GoPro on?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, thanks, man."
So that's a really, really good segue into what I wanted to talk about. First off, last Wednesday, my range does competitions every month. They do 2 at the north location, 1 at the south, and I attended the south location. I wore my hunting belt. I shot my Glock that I'm going to wear hunting because why not get familiar with this thing, right? Turns out I'm already familiar with it. I mean, I've shot 10,000 rounds out of it at least when it was still a 40 cal. Trans guns matter, by the way. So shot the competition, got 7th, lost 2, didn't really lose it. I mean, it's just a self race, right? But there was a bunch of really, really good guys, including a master there, all of whom I've known since before I was in the competition world, and I was really, really excited to be back. So I had them film me a couple of stages. My self opinion is I felt not myself. Vince, you know what I mean?
Like sometimes you get out there and you're like, "Oh, everything's working."
Right. Yeah.
And then
yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
you're like, "Why do I feel like a meth addict on 24-hour withdrawals?" Like,
Yes, exactly. Thank you. So one of the stages that I had them film, I felt like a meth addict, and I sent it to my mom, and she was like, "You look so smooth," and I was like, "What?" So I looked at it again and again and again and again, and I realized she was right. I do look a lot smoother, and that I genuinely will attribute, in part at least, to the Ace VR system, the competition simulation thing they got going on in the Meta Quest. That because you can use that and move around and basically simulate everything except for recoil, I kind of learned how to dance around. I learned how to shoot with both eyes open. I learned how to shoot and move. Like it, and I could see all of this in the video after I watched it repeatedly. And yes, I'm a little slow. I'm finding my footing, and I think that's what was wrong with me. I just felt a little slow. The other important thing that I did notice was all of the reloads that I caught on film. I reached back and I grabbed the goddamn leather case for the knife sharpener and pelvis splitter that I have from my grandfather. It was his on his hunting belt, so I put that on mine. Anyway, I kept grabbing that for a reload, and I was like, no, they're down lower. So I immediately went home. I moved that pouch to the inner part of the back of my belt so that the magazines are more accessible, and did a whole bunch of dry fire
So
tap rack thing.
did you move the magazine pouch to where you were looking for it naturally? Is that what you're saying you did?
Yes, and I moved the thing that I kept grabbing out of the way.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good thing to do if you notice it while you're doing competitions or really anything. Like I do that in the house whenever I can't find something, and when I finally find it, I go put it the first place I looked for it. If I can remember the first place I looked for it.
So that's a really good system. I'm gonna have to try that. Overall rundown, I think it looking back, I think it went really, really well, to be honest. And I've already looked up for the next one. One of the North ones is in a couple of Fridays, and I'm looking at trying to find one of the actual USPSA matches, one of the sanctioned matches that I used to shoot out here. And like, if I'm going to go back into it, why not? Just dive head first, right?
I mean,
so yeah,
It works for pools.
that's especially when they're not filled.
and murky water.
So I want to bounce back to something Vince was talking about. Also, Vince's new rifle. So I don't have a new rifle. However, I did pick up my Sauer 30-06 from the gunsmith the other day, to which they had put this very nice. Let's go see if the camera can see it very well. But they put this very nice threading on it. He had to do it 1/2 by 28, and then he like manually and inserted this adapter onto it and welded the adapter to the rifle cleanly. It looks really good. So it is threaded now for 5/8 by 24, which means that it will take the can that I bought.
Nice. How long is the barrel on that one?
This is a 22-inch barrel, I believe.
Did you measure it to make sure he didn't? Oh shit! Got to redo it. Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Well, it's barrel now.
If we weren't already off YouTube, we will be after that because that's.
Did he just point that at the camera again?
So
No, it was the attaching the suppressor to the barrel constitutes like
the only thing he could have done
nonsense.
the only thing he could have done worse than that is to disassemble it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
not disassemble. Show people how to take their weapons apart.
No, that'll get you banned on YouTube instantly these days.
God damn YouTube. So anyway, that's the brief cool thing that I did.
I approve of this. I keep thinking
now-
I've got the Remington 760 in 30-06, which is the pump action. And I keep thinking like I want to get this thing threaded so that I can have a suppressed pump action rifle. Just
Dude,
to
that
mess
sounds
with people.
awesome.
If you're in an area where you just can't have semi-autos, the pump action is actually the fastest shooting non-automatic, because you don't have to take your either hand off of your point of contact in order to actuate it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's faster than the lever action, faster than the bolt action, of course, and faster than a straight pull as well. And it's the fastest follow-up shots you can have of any rifle. Unfortunately, the 760 itself is pretty easy to short stroke and jam the hell out of. So I wouldn't use it as like a dangerous game rifle or anything, but still.
I very much like pump action shotguns. I run them really, really well. I think I can run them just about as fast as a semi-auto can. And you can see it in some of my videos. If I could ever find the pheasant hunting video, I think I may have lost that. But in any case, yeah, I could see how a pump action rifle just bang, pump, bang, pump. And if you train yourself to just pump after every single shot, then you start racking the chamber going, did I pump that? I can't remember if I pumped that or not. And it turns out you always did.
Well, it's all gross motor skills. It's
Right.
not any manipulations. You just have your hand on the pump out there, and then you press the trigger and you go ka-chunk, and
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
still aiming at your target while you do it. And also, if you have any kind of recoil, the recoil generally assists the
Mhm.
action of you working the pump, so you can run it really fast.
Oh yeah, I agree with this.
I like pump actions; they're cool.
Yeah,
I
they really
understand
are.
why, for like defensive or tactical purposes, you might want a semi-auto shotgun, like the semi-auto 12 gauges. Like I think that makes a lot of sense. That way you can utilize it with one hand, because it's
Yeah.
really hard to work a pump with one.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's hard to work a pump with one hand.
That's completely fair. I even did a couple of dry fire drills, reloading and
No jokes
like
there?
shooting my. Yeah,
Okay.
don't move on. Did a couple dry fire drills, reloading my shooting dry fire with the offhand, and then doing a reload completely with the offhand, and that went fairly okay. Gonna have to work on that, but yeah, I'm kind of excited. I think I'm gonna turn into an insufferable Glock guy. Unfortunately for you guys.
Every time I think of like the one hand manipulations, I think of that guy who just has nubs.
No-handed shooter. Watching him shooting an M60 is awesome.
It's like, how are you doing anything?
I don't know how he does it, but I met him at Dragon Man's at Rocky Mountain Range Day a couple years ago, and awesome dude. Watching him shoot an M60, like it's absolute. He can shoot it better than like a lot of guys with arms can. It's kind of sad for the guys with arms. I mean, like it's awesome for him.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's infuriating for two reasons. Like he's good, and I don't know how he does it. Like it's a double whammy.
Can I draw you?
It's like gross.
Yeah, you.
You can draw my strong hand.
I got a whole freezer full of popsicles.
This is getting really weird.
It started weird, dude. Speaking of weird, were we gonna get weird? Let's get weird.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not sure I
Oh.
want to know what he's talking
You
about.
should never.
About time to hit the old dusty trail.
Well, guys,
So I did have one main
Good time to
topic I
get
wanted
out.
to talk about tonight.
No copyright strikes. No copyright strikes.
there
Nothing.
can't
We're
be
talking
copyright
through
strikes.
this.
I own the copyright to it.
Oh well.
All right, we're not gonna listen to that whole thing. We're gonna fade it down.
I don't even know what this is.
That
Well,
is
Dave
the
didn't talk through.
abomination called AI that I started running as a joke, and it's a freaking mess.
Yeah.
It can't pronounce Mike's name, and when I prompted it to generate a 10 to 15 second song, it decided that 10 seconds needed to be a lyric.
Yeah, that's just
They
I-
call me 10-second Mike.
that's a very song.
In college, he was known as Two Pumps and a Quiver.
That's just mean.
Got him.
Got him.
I've never. How dare you say those mean, hurtful,
Did you-
accurate things about me? So we apparently have a new segment because I just decided. I don't know why we're calling it Warheads on Foreheads with Mike Gonsalves, but apparently that's what we're going with. The entire
Whoa,
point of this.
because you said you wanted to talk about it, and I said, "Oh yeah, we should do a segment where we highlight. If you want to talk about carrying a pistol in the woods, we should do a segment where once a week, or maybe every other week, we can highlight. So and so got eaten by a bear. Too bad he didn't have a gun. So and so had a gun. Look at him, didn't get raped.
And Mike used to
And we-
load warheads on planes, so you know.
And they
Warheads.
dropped them on foreheads, so
on
that's fair.
foreheads.
That's fair.
I bet they hit a bear at least once.
Warheads on bear heads. I'm okay with warheads on bear heads. So, yeah, we want to talk. We want to start talking more about defensive pistol use in the wilderness, whether it's against man or beast. I wanted to start off tonight with an
What about women?
actual. Okay, the women won't be in the forest because they're off with the bears because they trust them more than the men.
Got it.
So-
All right. Problem taken care of then.
Yeah, solved, right? Story I read on survivalworld.com. It was written by a guy named John Peterson. Says, I trusted my pistol for outdoors protection. Then a wild animal put it to the test. Here's what I learned.
He's
I'm not gonna.
The
I'm not gonna.
bear- the fucking bear's like, hey, can I shoot that? Sure. Yeah, man, this is trash. Oh
What
man.
kind of life-
Oh, that's funny. I'm
Would
not
you,
gonna. I'm,
would you rather meet a woman or a bear in the woods? The bear. Your gun's gay. Like,
Damn it, that'd be a great meme. Oh no. It would have been a great meme when that was going around. The problem is now that that's faded from freaking the zeitgeist of pop culture, so that would be too late.
well, yeah, it's been more than 5 minutes, so you know we're
Yeah.
behind the times.
This
We
whole
are
podcast
boomers.
is behind the times.
Welcome to our podcast.
Oh, so that joke will still work in like South Dakota then.
It might.
no, that's
they're-
Des Moines. It'll work in Des Moines still.
It'll work in Alaska in about 20 years, actually.
Oh, there you go then.
Yeah, Alaska.
Oh, so we can bury it and dig it up and then send it to Alaska.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. Like the Beach Boys
is-
are still popular up there, and I don't know why.
This is like the plot
They're
to
still
a bad
one of
80s
them's
action
dead.
movie.
I know. Like lots of them are dead, dude. You know how many people have been Beach Boys?
No,
Now, one of the originals just died. I know, but
because I'm not gay.
it's a lot. So the story that I picked, I'm not gonna read it word for word. That's stupid. The brief rundown is that he carries
Did
in
he
a
die?
chest rig. He
Lame.
wrote the article. Ding
Oh, no,
dong.
I
How
died.
could- you're killing me.
It's ghost
Smalls.
written. It's ghost written by his widow.
Fuck.
She's like, this is what my husband would have said.
This is why we're not a serious podcast. So he advocates for the use of a chest rig or a shoulder holster. I have my thoughts on that, but we'll get to that. He also advocates for carrying at least a revolver because it's honestly, this dude writes this article like he's a FUD. It's revolvers don't jam. They're reliable. The shot that stopped the charge is the caption of one image. Like it's pretty fuddy. But he makes a lot of really good points. One of the points he makes is about ammunition, and this is something that you guys and I think have talked about the last couple of weeks. Was that if I'm going to carry a 9mm, should I at least put hard cast like 150 grains or something like that into it?
147 is the common number. Go ahead.
It's got 147 grain hollow points. Like, should I change those to hard cast?
Is this a real
Yes.
question?
Yes,
Yes.
because
Well, that's the fun part. Against a kitty cat, but against a bear, yeah. And so I would say worst case scenario is if you end up putting hard cast lead from stem to stern down a cougar,
it's
it
still
ain't
going
gonna be
be
healthy for it.
Okay,
and
so
same
I
for
also
a
have
two-legged predator as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
So
Sir,
there's-
can you bend over real quick. There we go.
Stem to stern.
there was a meta study not too long ago about all of the defensive shootings, like police and defensive shootings combined, and the most effective round from all of the rounds used, like 45 to 40 to 9mm, the most effective hollow point versus the least effective whatever was less effective than 2 of the least effective. So putting 2 in it is worth more than the most effective handgun projectile that you could use on a human. This was on a human. So, switching to hardcast, if you're talking about on human, if you had to use it, it's not that it's like catastrophically less effective. It's that you might have overpenetration and hit something that you don't want to. That's the entire reason to use your hollow points. They are more effective. I'm not saying they're not more effective. They are more effective than like FMJs. But 2 FMJs is worth more than 1 hollow point. Still.
2 FMJs or an FMJ in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
And
it's totally backwards because that's not the way it is.
All right, then I will look for
Buffalo boar
podcasts.
I think they even sell some in Shields. They sell some. Well, Buffalo boar, if you want to be a little squirrely. Personally, I find Underwood to be the slightly more less fuddy, reputable sounding company.
My problem is
Go ahead.
I've seen the stories of Buffalo boar doing it, so it's hard to like say like, oh yeah, Underwood's fine. Like, but I've seen the pictures in the story of like the 147 grain hard cast killing a bear with a guy with a 9mm. So it's like just
my only issue with buffalo boar. Actually, I have 2 issues with buffalo boar. One of them's kind of more of a non-issue for Colorado, but start listening to the dude on his YouTube channel, and it's like, oh, you are mega fud, and not like good mega fud, like kind of weird bad mega fud. And then all they use brass cases instead of nickel plated, and then you can get into like corrosion issues potentially if you got the same ammo running around for ages and ages. Not an issue here in Colorado because it's not like we're down on the coast where there's freaking 100 freaking % humidity.
Yeah. Speaking of
salt
which,
water
when we came back from
heat.
GunCon, I sent you guys that picture of my carry stuff. Both
I
my
did not
magazines
wanna
had
see-
massive rust. My slide had rust on it. My rail inside the grip, inside
your crusty ball sweat all over your 365.
dude,
Ugh.
it was rusty and crusty, and I was shocked. It was just
You
a
know
few
what?
days.
I'm kind of finding myself wanting to hear Mike finish the end of the story, and then we can go back into this.
Okay, fair enough. So the dude, we talked about the hardcast lead. I think that's a fair choice. I'll move into hardcast for my gun. He likes the Magnum revolver rounds. He likes how his argument: stopping power and reliability and simplicity. The simplicity thing under stress, fine motor skills degrade. That's why that's the pump action thing. That's what we were talking about. That's valid, but I don't think it's enough to say here you have to carry a revolver. The shorter version is he ended up having to use his pistol to defend himself against an aggressive moose of all creatures. Like, you would think it's one of the predators, but I have read a lot of stories lately about people having to defend themselves against moose on trails.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Or in yards.
Because when you're a 1,200-pound animal, you don't really stop for anything. And when something that weighs like a tenth of what you do challenges you, you're not going to put up with it. I guess.
Side note: predators are required to eat meat to recover. They have, and if you have a broken bone or something, you have to sit there to let that recover. Herd animals can eat anything like that's on the ground, right? Especially browsers that can eat all sorts of plant matter. If you break something or damage something, it's a whole lot easier to get food and survive that, which is why you'll find that a number of herd animals or herbivores tend to be more aggressive at times than predators.
Because that's a good point, because they can browse off the grass and recover better than the predators can, because the predators can't really chase their shit and can't chase their prey and recover. So that's fair. The conclusion is he I don't think he fired a warning shot, but the moose kept encroaching him, and he was doing anti-moose things like, rah, get away from me, I'm a scary human. And the moose is like, no, you're not. So
the moose is like, man, this one's retarded.
Right.
God,
so he
he's
did
loud too.
He did what he had to do, and he's put the round in the shoulder area of the moose, at which point the moose was like, ow, damn it, why? And retreated, which had the desired effect. The attack stopped, the threat was neutralized, he didn't need to fire any more rounds. I think he has some merit on this shooting a moose with a magnum caliber. I think he said it was a 357. I'll post a link, and in any case, a 357 into a moose, I can't see that doing fatal damage, not through the shoulder. I can't see it penetrating far enough. So I can't see that it would have any bearing whether I had a 9mm or a Magnum cartridge anyway. At least with the 9mm, I'd have controllability and repeatability with my shots. Just, every time the front sight comes down on the moose's nose or the eyeball or something like that, something soft that a 9mm will go through.
Shoot it in the dick.
Yeah, genuinely, if it's a target, that's a thing that's going to piss it off and make it rethink its choices.
I think if I had an option, I'd go neck. It's a larger area than the head.
Hit a carotid or something, and they bleed out real quick. Yeah,
there's stuff there, and it's relatively softer than.
And it's a big target, especially for a moose. It's a big target.
Granted, if a moose is charging me, and depending on the distance, I'm aiming at fur. So.
Fair.
Sights on target, fire for effect.
Yep. Accuracy by volume. But to go back to your ammo choice real quick versus your hollow point versus your hard cast. When you're out in the woods, you have to worry a lot less about over penetration, like if you were at a mall. So yeah, I'd say all the penetration.
So
granted, if you have a bear in your camp and fucking
I'm in the tent behind the bear, please don't shoot me.
Yeah. So maybe like lay on the ground and shoot up. But
yeah. Know your target, what's beyond, etc.
There was a story I read. It was a guy, he shot a moose, right, with a 300 Win Mag. Mm-hmm. Posted pictures and everything about this. It was on a forum. He gave an update. And he went down there to the moose, but he had left his rifle behind him for some reason. So he gets down there, and the moose isn't dead, and he's got a 10 Glock on him. Proceeds to shoot the moose 6 or 8 times in the base of the skull with the 10 Does nothing. At about 8 feet. Because he's using 180 grain gold dots. And so those are expanding bullets. On impact. They only penetrated about 4 to 6 inches each, and that wasn't enough to get to the breadbasket. He had to lean right in at point blank range to get a kill shot with that 10mm on that moose. Luckily, the antlers were all tangled up in some bushes, so it couldn't really move very far and kill him, But yeah, so that's the effect of projectile choice with a handgun. And as far as like moose goes, like, man, the fact that he shot it and it just like wandered off tells you something. Because even if you take a 357 and shoot a moose in the lungs with it, that's not a chest sucking wound for an animal that size. You know what I mean? That's still like, that hurt anyway.
Yeah.
But if it dissuaded the animal,
yeah. Like that's the desired effect. Like the bear charges us, we don't want to kill the bear, we want the bear to not charge us anymore. And if a single round going off makes the bear rethink his life choices, that's all it takes. If it takes several mags worth and a bloody fight to the end, and he dies on top of you with the last round of your pistol going through his fucking ear hole. Well, sounds like a fight, man. You know?
See, this is why we should be able to buy machine guns, like new machine guns.
Like a Beretta 93.
A 4-inch 9mm with 147 grain hard cast in a 30 round magazine. Like, I want that. If a bear is charging me, I actually want that. Versus many other things. especially suppressed. Just oh, look, he did.
I will add one more thing from my thoughts. To my knowledge, second call defense also covers they cover any legal self-defense, and that can include animals. So if you're charged by a grizzly and you're charged for shooting a grizzly when you're not supposed to, they'll cover you, to my knowledge. So
I do have second call defense. Highly recommend.
Not a sponsor.
Just not a sponsor.
Good shit.
That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I plan on trying to have some sort of wilderness self-defense story every weekish. Like, there's not a ton of them out there, so I'll do the best I can. But
you just got to know where to dig, and I know where to dig, so I'm gonna help you out.
I have a challenge for you next week.
Yes. No.
Self-defense fishing story.
Like, you're defending yourself against a fish, or
I mean, sharks are fish.
Dude, I have one right now.
And that fucking catfish was coming in the boat.
That's funny. All right. So yeah, that's Warheads on Foreheads, and I think thanks for talking through the Warheads thing. I want to address a couple more points real quick. Or did we already cover ad nauseum revolver versus semi-auto?
We have a little bit in the past. My only thoughts on this were this guy's a terrible FUD if it was a 357,
right?
Because the FUD mentality is like, no, it has to be a 454 Casull. So this man carrying a 357, it's like, dude, you only went halfway down the fuddery.
I mean, if he is a FUD, he failed. But if he's a reasonable individual, he landed right on target.
It depends. I think 357. I wouldn't want to take that around moose if I knew there was one. I mean,
180 grain hard cast flat nose, like that's.
Yeah, but you're shooting something the size of a freaking horse. I'll take my 45 supers or a 10 mil if I had my druthers.
I mean, I don't mind like rounds on target as fast as possible.
Yeah,
but Alaskan Bear Guide Phil Shoemaker tends to favor a 6-inch 357 Magnum loaded with 180 grain 357s.
True.
Good for him.
And that's on, on grizzly bear. So,
but for me personally, I'm not going to go stalk through the willows where there's moose who are just as insanely protective of their calves as sows are their cubs. Cow moose are.
Through the willows, through the tulips.
Bull moose hit, they start hitting the rut and they go from loving everybody to fucking hating everybody. And that's where he probably got in trouble with the bull moose, is that bull moose is starting to feel his fucking testosterone come up. He wants to get laid, and there's this fucking pink, fleshy monkey in the way. Fucking kill him.
That seems fair, but also I'm the pink, fleshy monkey, so fuck off, moose.
I don't disagree.
Half as many rounds of 9mm I can give you.
Jeremiah F. Plans are in the works to call a lion. I want to call a cat. But yes, plans are in the works. I have not shot one.
Also, Jeremiah, thanks for proving that we haven't gotten kicked off YouTube yet.
Fucking A.
I mean, I've shot a cat, but it was a little one.
Meow.
I said lion first.
Speaking of lions,
Oh,
I know we talked a
yeah.
little bit about the whole, them finally saying, "Oh, look, here's proof of lions in Oklahoma." There's been more sightings now that they've
Shocker.
confirmed. Not surprised at all.
Was one from
Anyway.
1997.
Yeah. Yeah, I expect many more confirmed sightings of mountain lions in Oklahoma now.
I have no doubt.
Anyway,
Have we talked about the holster placement? Like this guy talked about holster placement under the shoulder holster or the chest rig, but I think I've gone over like many times why I favor my drop not drop leg. It's a drop leg now,
Mid-ride.
but yeah, the
You
mid
get on
rides.
that side. No, we've
Um,
talked about that in the past.
What
Pros and
shoulder
cons.
do you carry your rifle?
Right shoulder.
Does it rub at all?
It does, but I tend to grab the sling of my rifle and just tuck it in and tighten it up as I walk, and it does fine.
I fucking hate that. It drives me fucking crazy.
It's a little annoying, but
And it's fucking loud.
it is loud. I do hate the
So
loud.
that's why I'm a chest guy.
That's fair. The drop leg actually is not a problem, so I'm gonna order. I think I might. So, if you haven't already heard the news, and I'm sure we've all already heard the news, Black Rhino Concealment shut down officially a couple of days ago, and because of that, like I have nowhere else to find a level 2 Glock holster with a QLS mount system. Like I have the mount, I just need it drilled for QLS and stamped with the QLS outline. So
Safariland.
Doesn't Safariland?
You'll spend a hell of a lot of money, but it'll be your favorite holster ever.
well, I was listening to the AR-15 podcast. I was looking at Klecker Tactical, and Klecker Tactical will do it for $100, and AR-15 even has the discount code, so I might actually go that option and see how they do.
Ain't he fancy?
I mean, Safariland. I know Safariland, but you pay out the ass for Safariland. So
Buy once, cry once.
right.
If
One
I
way or
could
the other.
get a freaking Safariland that would fit my USP, I would have done it in a heartbeat.
Well,
Their
gee.
ALS retention system is by far the best retention I've ever used in a holster. There's no hood that might get halfway stuck down if it gets all dirty and shit. There's no having to remember to click your hood back up. It's just in and out. You hit the thumb thing, the little thumb release, you pull it out, and when you go back in, you put it back in the holster and it locks in place and off you go. Anyway.
anyway, I think
I like that.
I think what you're getting at here is basically making your holster part of your equipment system,
Right.
so that it's easily accessible from the outermost layer of your clothing with both hands.
Correct.
mainly
This
your
guy did
strong
make
hand.
the point that if his gun was in his backpack, the bull would have probably killed him. So that is.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. If you have your gun in your backpack, you are a moron.
Even
That's like going to the mall going, I'm bringing my gun with me in case someone shoots up the mall. Let me put it in my backpack.
Right.
a lot of the Alaskan wood rats will even say, like, yeah, having it like inside waistband or on your hip, like that's a death sentence. I could see drop leg as long as your coat doesn't cover it. That may be useful, but a lot of them is like chest rig on the outside.
But that's the thing with the drop leg. The coat does not cover it because it's down on your thigh. The mid ride, the coat doesn't
Your
cover
coat
it.
doesn't.
I'm actually
My
gonna
coat does.
start taking some pictures. Yeah, my coat or your
Big
coat on
man
me.
with a little coat.
Is it little man with a big coat?
If I wore Mike's coat, I'd look like a busted can of biscuits.
Well, I stay warm, so bite me.
Do it.
I stay warm without the coat. Ha!
That's because you're Lorge.
Fat.
Yes, Lorge man. Lorge man is Lorge. Sam, Klecker does have the level 2 that they make for a USB 45.
I already looked at it, but I got one now. It has
Okay.
its issues, but I've worked through them.
Okay. Good. So I'm going to take some pictures and post them on our page showing how my coat at least fits over the stuff on my belt and, over the magazines, over the pistol, how it interferes with rifles. People should make their own choice for what works for them. I like where the pistol is for the defensibility, and I can always move the rifle, but the pistol's always in the same place. You know what I mean?
See, for me, the rifle sling's not the issue. For me, freaking the pack goes my hip belt on my pack goes basically right where the damn holster is. And okay, the mid ride might drop it below that by enough, but then my waist strap is now pushing into that hard plastic UBL mid ride and jamming that into my hip. So that's where I got into the cross draw for my
GP100.
GP100. I kept trying to go 300. It's not 300 anything.
Yeah, should be.
Because that, once you get to the waist strap, it gets towards the front. It's just the webbing. It's not padded, so that slipped in behind there. But not getting a cross draw for the old HK now, so I'm going to get a chest holster for that. Right now, I'm just going to keep it in the chest pack because that works out pretty well.
You actually got me thinking maybe I should try putting one of my single point slings on my rifle and carrying it that way.
That way you can rack yourself in the nuts when you drop it. Bam.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the can attached, just like it's got that extra oomph to make me really hate my life. It's possible.
You can try it. You're into weird shit like binoculars. So
yeah, I am. And shooting doves with LPVOs.
Yep.
Gideon Optics Guardian, guys. Coupon code MOIST, 10% off.
At GideonOptics.com.
I'm actually looking at getting another Gideon.
Me too.
I think I'm going to go with the Advocate.
Yeah, you should definitely get that one, dude.
I think that's a good all-around shotgun rifle kind of sight.
I just didn't like it on my shotgun. I like the Mediator better on my shotgun, but it's it's awesome.
Well, I have that stupid fucking Euro trash AR shotgun that I could go on.
Oh.
They got
swear,
some new
last
stuff
time-
coming out, so stay tuned.
Last time I was hanging out at Shields, waiting on a background check or something, they must have checked out 5 or 6 of those damn things.
Yeah.
Just the $300 or less semi-auto Turkish shotguns.
So the guy that gave me this shotgun, he works at a gun store, and they were discontinuing them. So he got them for $130 a piece. I'm like,
damn,
I would spend that absolutely any day of the week.
Yeah, 100%.
And it eats. It's fast.
I bought a Walther CCP from the range because it was used. It was on sale. Like, it was a used gun. They wanted $180 for it, and my parents had just given me a $100 gift card to Magnum, and I had $50 in my wallet, and I was like, you know what? I could put $30 on my card and take a gun home. So I took a gun home.
Yeah, speaking of Gideon Optics, we're just going to get the optic in there. I remounted the one that I blasted that I was meant to give back to Bob at GunCon in person. I remounted it on the rifle, so I'm going to get some more rounds through it.
Hell
Not
yeah,
tomorrow.
dude.
I was hoping tomorrow, but my work schedule changed.
Get some rounds through it. Get some video.
Rounds through it. I've got a very stupid video idea I'm going to do for my Instagram, and then yeah.
Oh, there you go. Dusky put a single point sling on a pistol.
That's called a lanyard, and
Yeah.
that is actually recommended.
Just Israeli press.
So speaking of Instagram, I joined the dark side finally and created my own.
Are you gonna try and advertise yourself on here? What's next? Your freaking links to all your OnlyFans?
Yeah.
I already have the links to my OnlyFans up. You know that.
Check me
Yeah,
out on
it was
Mike
in
the
our
Knife
fucking
on
Instagram.
No, just I started my own. I don't have to fucking plug myself. I just
I'm fucking Skyline Tutor on Instagram.
no. Honestly, what bothered me was that Skyline Shooter was taken, and I was like, "Who is?" It was somebody who takes pictures of city skylines.
Clever.
You
I mean,
deserve that.
Fair.
I was like, "That's who ripped me off." God damn it! All right.
All right, on that note, check out Camerado, camerado.com. Affiliate code Let's Go Hunt. Lots of cool stuff over there. Something even that looks kind of like Rhodesian brushstroke, but I think that's called Scout. 5-Star Alterations, had them on a couple episodes ago. Used coupon code MOIST at 5staralterations.com. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that.
that's correct. All right. Yeah,
Just
we'll have
probably
him on
so
again soon.
confident.
He had something he wanted to talk about, so we'll have him on again.
Oh, I
soon.
do need to. I do need to reach out to him after this.
Yeah,
actually.
you do. But in the
Bingo.
meantime, support the sport and take a buddy hunting. If you like that, buddy, tell them about our show. If you don't, tell them we watched his sister ride an electric bull at 12:30 at Waffle House. Hit us up at lghpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and let's go hunt.
The only one I wrote was 10-second Mike.
Well,
that be it, sir.
that'll be all, folks. Good night. And ending the stream. Where's my mouse? I can't end it. I can't find my mouse. There it is.
We're stuck
is
here.
nice
This is
trying to use-
purgatory.